the only person below White Holiday in the Comicsgate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube how you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to WyzGyzEntertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We are joined today with our special guest, Brian. How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, Wyman?
Good, thanks. Welcome, American Comics Company.
Hail.
Yeah. Right on. Oh, you know what? That's just good to see y'all. Thumbs up and smiles all around. I got a real quick. Just realized. Let's see here. Let me do a quick update on the Criminy. Oh, what happened here? Why is it? Just a sec. Technical difficulties. What on earth?
Well, one thing I can tell you while you're looking at that, is I can just go ahead and start the pitch. So Tōrō Tales. A lot of people call it Tōrō Tales, but that's Spanish for bull. Whereas Tōrō is the stone lantern that you see in my company DojoKunComics in the logo. So the stone lantern is obviously a Japanese thing, and the DojoKun are the 5 rules of the karate dojo. I've been a karateka since since early college, and the 5 rules are to seek perfection of character, to be faithful, to endeavor, to respect others, and to avoid violent behavior. Which sounds kind of funny when you're talking about a fighting style. To avoid violent behavior. But basically what they're saying is better to know how to fight and not need to than need to and not know how. So Tōrō. Yep. The O with a little symbol over that little line over the top is an O-U sound.
O-U.
Tōrō.
I thought it would be Tōrō. Okay. Oh, cool. Excuse me. All right, so we get that in here.
And the book itself is an anthology title. It's got 9 stories in it. So it'll be 88 pages. The book is, as we speak, already complete. It's done.
Oh.
So I'm sort of on both sides of that debate, if you will. For example, I've got 2 campaigns. We'll talk about the other another night. But tonight, this one is a complete book. And there's also an ash can that we can talk about that serves as an add-on. And that is also nearly complete. I think there's only 2 pages left to complete in the ash can. So things are really rolling along on this one. And I fully suspect that if this is funded and we are ready for fulfillment, it will go out before it's estimated to be fulfilled. So,
ooh, nice.
Yeah.
That's always a bonus.
Right.
Very cool. Excuse me. Let's see here. So, Tōrō Tales #1. Definitely cool looking project. Let's go ahead and play the trailer here.
Yeah, let's.
The Tōrō Tales trade paperback brings together the inaugural chapters of some of DojoKunComics' greatest characters. Characters like Sakura, Bot 42, Sovereign, Lone Shark, Sparrow, Night Mist, the Scarlet Archer, the Canadian Shield, and Halia and Andy, aka H2O. featuring art by 5 different writers, 9 artists, 7 colorists, and 5 letterers. This graphic novel will be 88 pages of superhero excitement. We've been publishing comics for 6 years now and successfully crowdfunded and fulfilled Siamese. The first 100 backers receive a free BD Buddy of Canadian Shield. Back with confidence and back us. Only on Indiegogo.
Wow. So it's like I was looking at a beaded character.
Yeah, I thought you'd like. I saw you smile when that came on. That BD Buddy is going to be handmade for the first 100 people who back at a physical level. So I was at a craft show with my wife, and she was off looking at quilts and things, and I saw this guy who had a bunch of mainstream characters done in that bead form, and so I walked over there to strike up a conversation, and he explained that he did them by hand, and I said, "Would you be willing to do that with a like not a mainstream character, but my own IP?" And he said he would be excited to do that. He was thrilled. He gave me a few prototypes. Let's see here. So this is like one of the first prototypes with a blue hammer.
Oh, dang.
So it's pretty cool. And the bottom here, this ankle is a metal piece. So this metal piece will weigh it enough that it'll stand on its own.
Oh. Oh, wow.
So that'll be for the first 100 backers at a physical tier. And so, yeah, like the trailer said, there's a whole bunch of people working on this that have worked on this. It's going to have 9 stories in it. Bot 42 is a biometric organ transplant unit. They were created as indestructible robots to transport organs for transplant, like across the city from one hospital to another. They could get there faster, and they wouldn't be stopped or damaged on the way. Well, the creator of this program, Dr. Ria Sen-Shahak, invited her husband to her office to celebrate the program that she developed. Her husband's in a horrific car accident on the way there, but she witnesses it from her office window. So she and her staff go down there. He's pretty messed up. So they bring him in, and they do a transplant of his brain. That decision, though, leads to some traumatic fallout for having done that. And then that's where his story begins.
Oh, all right.
So that's just one example of the 9 stories that are in there. So let's see, what else can I tell you about it? 88 pages, full color. Oh, the cover. So the cover that you're seeing right there at the beginning of the trailer is by Eric Ninoltowski, who people remember did Shadow Sentry. And this is an homage cover. So it is an homage to the West Coast Avengers variant of Amazing Spider-Man number 297. And the reason I picked that one, as obscure as it sounds, is because it had the Avengers West Coast in such a cool pose, and there were 10 of them in the picture. So, and I knew I was debuting 10 characters, so I thought it fit perfectly, and had Eric draw them in the same poses, the same position as the West Coast Avengers were in.
Okay.
This here is a penciled version that I had watercolored. The final version of this cover is going to be far more detailed, and it'll have a background and everything. But I thought, you know what? Even just this penciled version that was watercolored is pretty sharp.
Let's see. American Comics Company says, in my opinion, should be done at least up to the printing production.
Oh, the book itself? Yeah, I agree. In some instances, though, like on my other campaign, the crowdfunding will have to pay for the art and the coloring and the lettering. So that one there isn't nearly as close to done as this one. We'll talk about that then, though.
And then let's see here.
So that is the character who's featured in the supplemental Ashcan. His name is Bog, and he is a plant creature on an alien world who is then visited by other aliens, and he makes it very clear to them that they're not welcome. He kills the entire crew. But the word of that slaughter gets back to their leader, and their leader comes back to his planet with a stronger force. And then what happens changes Bog's life and the life of his entire planet.
Oh, my. Oh, and then there's the characters.
Right. Yeah. Some of them are start out as heroes, some of them as reluctant heroes, and some even start as a villain. So, try to really create varied stories in here.
Sakura.
Right. That's the first page of her storyline. That is one of the panels from the storyline of Sovereign. Sovereign is an alien scout that comes to Earth in order to prep us for his planet's domination of Earth. But he finds that he likes the people so much, he's got to make some decisions. And the decisions he makes could either save us or destroy us.
Scans planets to colonize. Loan shark.
Yeah, he is a Atlantean, but he's a mutant Atlantean, and he's been warned not to reveal himself to the surface world, but he saves a man who's thrown overboard from a freighter during a storm, and by saving him, reveals himself to the surface world. The Atlantean Council is not happy.
That's a cool look and effect where the blue, you can see him splat, just like he's diving underwater.
Right. Yep. That's him breaking the surface. Yep.
That's pretty cool. And then you got BO242.
Yeah. Bot 42 is the biometric transport unit that I was telling you about. And this is his first appearance. That appearance right there will be featured as the first stretch goal as a print, a comic book size print.
All right.
Because his first appearance is a splash page.
Oh man, how do you pronounce it again?
Tōrō.
Tōrō Tales #1, 88-page anthology. 9 short stories.
Oh, the one character that hasn't been shown is the one that is featured in the story I Am Become Death. That story is like a space opera. There is a zombie virus infecting the people of this very, very large colonization ship. And that zombie virus is spread easier than COVID is. So the people in that ship are in peril. And there's a doctor who's the main character, and what he does to address this. And then at the end of the story, there's a wicked twist. So obviously no spoilers, but it's definitely worth reading. That one was written by Nicholas Prontka.
So are these all characters that you created under DojoKunComics?
They are all part of the connected superhero universe, but some of them were created by other authors. So H2O, the ones named Halia and Ondine, were created by a woman named Lucinda. The one from I Am Become Death was Nicholas Prontka. Sovereign, although I created him, that story was written by Jeff Beinecke. So I did write some of the stories here, but I also had some other writers involved, which I thought was kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah, I saw one, was it Canadian Shield? I wasn't sure if that was Cross Comics.
Oh yeah, he and I just talked the other night. We're gonna see if we can do a crossover of our two Canadian Shields fighting for the name.
Oh man! Oh, that would be great. That's funny.
You're not the Canadian Shield. I'm the Canadian Shield.
He's a nice guy.
Yep.
Let's see. Cover development, creator artist Shadow Sentry Eric Milotowski produced an homage cover for Tōrō Tales #1.
Beneath that, you'll see that there is also a hardcover available, and the hardcover is done by a married couple from Italy called the Art of Puro. Oh, I guess that's further down. Sorry about that. It's a ways down yet. This is the sample interior art first. So that's a page from Bot 42. He's got blood all over him, but that's not his blood.
Yeah, I would think not.
And then the first page of the Sakura story. Sakura, for those of you who don't know, is cherry blossom in Japanese. But I like to say that she's not delicate like a cherry blossom. She's delicate like a bomb.
Are these those wooden swords that you use for practice?
Yes, those are bokken.
Okay.
I actually trained with one of those.
I mean, don't most martial arts involving weapons train with those before you actually go into those made with metal?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to chop your fellow students' arms off and things. Mm-hmm. But those bokken are properly weighted. They're a little thicker than an actual metal blade because the wood isn't quite as heavy as the metal. So they have to include more wood in order for it to be the same weight as a metal sword. If you didn't practice with something that's the same weight as a metal sword, it would be pointless.
Yeah, true. Because it would feel off when you finally switch to a metal sword.
There's the better look at the lone shark. That's sort of like a diagram or not a diagram. What's it called? Just a layout of his ocean layer and things like that. And then when you get down to the next one, the page from Sovereign, tell me if that reminds you of any artist's work. Particularly because of the coloring.
Oh, man. I couldn't tell you. I'm no good with the...
I'm thinking it's like a lot like Jean Giraud, who's better known as Mobius.
Oh.
That's not who this is, but I think it's reminiscent of his work.
Was that the intent to do in that style?
Well, not originally, no. The artist is an Aaron Kearney from the United Kingdom. And when I saw his art, it reminded me of Mobius. So I asked my colorist, can you also use the palette of Mobius to really try to emulate that style? And her name is Irene Krieger. She's from Russia. And she said she would definitely give it a good try. And I thought she did a great job of it.
Yeah.
And then the lettering, when that's done, actually it is done, but this just is an example without the lettering. The lettering is by Irene's husband, Maxim, also from Russia.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I like involving the married couples. It's kind of cool.
For sure. Yeah, I always think it's a kick when you got couples in the same industry.
Right. And here's a good picture of the BD Buddy and what he'll look like.
Wow, you got 100 of these.
Yep, he's already started making them.
A hand-built posable BD Buddy. So, does it have like wires or something?
That's right. Yep, they are beads and they're held together by metal wire.
So that's why it's superposable.
Yep.
All right. That's neat.
So now we're in the tiers, and there you can see my wife, Deanna. She's very supportive. So, I put a tier in there like some of the other creators do, that you can buy her a fancy coffee. And a few people have already done that, which I really appreciate.
Nice.
And so does she, because she loves her Starbucks.
Okay. Have you memorized what her go-to drink is?
Yes, it's the vanilla bean.
You mean just that vanilla bean?
Well, it's one of those frozen frappuccino ones, so it's not one of those high octane latte with a spritz of that and this and the other thing.
At 192 degrees.
Yeah, right.
But just a spritz of foam.
The next tier is a digital tier, which this is funny too. We were just on a show the other night and somebody said, you know what you can call this one? You can call this the Australian variant.
The Australian.
Because the Australians don't want to pay for shipping, so they'll buy the digital tier.
Okay, all right. Gotcha.
Also, too, though, some people like to have their comic books on their mobile device and take them with them, like on an airplane or in a bus ride or train or something like that. So I like to make them available, even though I don't personally buy a digital version. I know some people like to.
Yeah.
And I do have, I think, 5 or 6 people who have already opted to buy that tier.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm very much into the physical copy myself.
Me too. And that's a good segue because the next tier is the physical book. Again, this is just an example cover because it'll be a very, very detailed final cover once Eric gets the okay to do that. This is just an example. And I'm thinking about putting that in the back of the book as a page because I just think it's so sharp even in the watercolors.
The total book is 88 pages. Did you, in creating this, go, all right, everyone's going to get like 11 pages?
Oh, I see what you're asking. No. One of the stories is actually only 3 pages long, but one of them is 16 pages long. So really, they vary widely as far as how many pages the stories take. Some are 6, some are 8. So, yeah, it really just depended on how it was written and, you know, how the panels fell to tell the story.
Did you just tell your collaborators, you know, have at it, let me see what you got, and then they determine through what they came up with as to how many pages it would take?
Yes, that's right.
Wow. Okay.
And then here's the one I was talking about earlier. This is the hardcover. It's limited to 50 copies, and a few of those have already been backed. This is by the married couple I mentioned a while ago from Italy, where the husband, Andreas, is the line artist, and his wife, Monica, is the colorist.
Oh.
And obviously they did Sakura, and in the background you can see some Sakura, the cherry blossoms.
Well, that's neat.
So the campaign's pretty simple. There's just those 4 tiers: the coffee,
Okay,
the digital, the physical softcover, and the physical hardcover. And then when you get down just a little bit further, you'll see that there's only 2 add-ons, and that's on purpose too. I wanted to keep this simple so that it was a quick fulfillment. People, I think, are more interested in content than they are in the tchotchkes, but I still wanted to offer a few of them because I think, you know, some people still do like them a lot. So the chibi stickers were a big hit on the Siamese campaign. So I asked my chibi artist, Alex Thompson, to create chibi stickers of the characters that all make their debut in Tōrō Tales. And there's 9 stickers, though, because Holly and Andine are mermaid twins, so they share 1 sticker.
Mermaid twins.
And then beneath that is the ash can we talked about a little while ago. That's the character Bog. And that one is being drawn by Mike Salter. Mike is the artist on Siamese number 1 and 2. So he and I have been working together for a number of years. I found him, you're going to find this interesting. I found him as an artist in a nursing magazine.
Oh, a nursing magazine?
Yeah, not breastfeeding, but nursing, like, you know, RNs and LPNs. Yeah. So I was in a hospital waiting room. Somebody I was very close to was in surgery, and I was just thumbing through whatever was on the table. Sports Illustrated, it didn't matter. Whatever it was, I picked it up. I was in there for 6 hours. So I thumbed through this nursing magazine, and I saw an ad for one of their programs, how to keep track of patients' records. But it was done in comic book form. It was just a quick, like, 1-page, you know, nurse woman or something like that. But the artist was unnamed in this ad. But the ad agency did have their name at the bottom. So I contacted them and said, could you put me in touch with your artist? They thought it was a weird request, but they said, yeah, sure, why not? We'll have to ask him first. And I said, that's understandable. But yeah, he was excited. He wanted to come draw comics with me. It turns out that Mike Salter is a fine art portrait painter. That's what he does for a living.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he paints like real life portraits of important people or family members and things like that.
Oh, wow.
The only reason he didn't do all 4 issues of Siamese is because he was commissioned to do a portrait of someone's recently deceased son. So he put a very high priority on that, and I didn't blame him at all. It was like, oh yeah, dude, you got to do what you got to do. That is not only important because of the money you'll make, but because of the subject matter. I said, we will work together again in the future. So he left Siamese, and I got Zilson Costa to do issues number 3 and 4. And the great thing about that is it got me involved with Zilson, and now Zilson is also still my artist, and he's going to be doing the other campaign we'll talk about in March called The Shifter. So now I get to work with both of these guys, which I think is pretty cool.
Man, it all worked out.
Yeah, and Mike is real excited to do the work on Bog. He's already done, of the 8 pages, he's already turned in 7 of them, so this is almost done as well.
Nice. Shared the stream to the Twitter box.
Thanks
so much.
American Comics.
Appreciate it. Very cool. And
then for those of you who missed Siamese, I know you didn't miss it, Wyman, but I know some people did. For those who missed it, there's an opportunity to get the trade paperback. But in order to keep those that bought it the first time, those are exclusive. I have a second printing cover on this one here. So this one here has a different picture on it, and it's done by Cy Lim from New Zealand. Now, Cy is the co-creator of Siamese, so that was cool to have him do the art on this cover.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
So it's kind of like one of those catch-up tiers where you can get Tōrō Tales and you can get Siamese if you put it in there as an add-on.
And this is all the first 4 books in one graphic novel.
Yep.
Oh, wow. All right. Cool. I like how, usually on costumes, it's like kind of one part of the body transitions to another, and it's stark color differences, whereas here it blends in to the shoulders and blends in at the hips.
Just like the fur of the Siamese cat. That's what we were going for. And you'll note that the twins are identical except for their tails. One is black, one is white. So the one with the black tail is more outgoing and whimsical and impulsive. The one with the white tail was born 10 minutes earlier, and she's more mature of the two.
That's cool. For mature readers. Stretch goals.
So the goal on this campaign is $5,000. The first stretch goal is at $7,000. And like I said, it'll be a comic book sized print of the splash page on which Bot 42 makes his first appearance.
Okay.
The next stretch goal is at $9,000, and it'll be an acrylic keychain of Bot 42. Now, the interesting thing about that art there is that is also by Cy Lim, who's the co-creator of that character too.
Oh.
Now, when I was looking at Cy Lim's website and saw this character, and I asked him, is that already in publication somewhere, or could I use it? And he said, oh yeah, that was just a doodle I put up on my website. I'm like, this is a doodle? You're kidding me. So I talked to him about making it Bot 42, and he was excited and on board. So that's where this character came from.
So was it one of those things where you bought the character off of him, or?
Right. Yep. I got the rights from Cy Lim to use his character. Yep.
He's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, he is. And right as soon as I saw him, I had an idea for the story, so I had to have him.
Nice.
And then at $11,000, it'll be a fridge magnet, and it'll be that picture that you saw on the page that was the example page up above, where he's all bloodied because of bludgeoning somebody with his metal fists.
Huh.
I do have 3 more stretch goals already selected, but I didn't put them on the page yet. Let's take it one step at a time here. Once we reach 11,000, I'll put up the next 3.
Okay. Cool.
There is one tier that wasn't explained here, and that's a retailer tier that's up on the on the right side of the page.
Oh, nice.
So a retailer can get 10 copies for a $25 discount. So that means buy 9 get 1 free if you're a retailer.
All right. Now, considering the stretch goals include a bunch of bot 42, would it be fair to say that he's currently your favorite character?
From this group of them, yes, I would say so. I've got a number of stories already written for that character. In fact, he will appear in Tōrō Tales #2 for sure. Some of these other characters may go on to have their own titles, but Bot 42 will definitely be in the next Tōrō Tales.
All right. So you pretty much highlighted all the tiers already, but let's take a quick look. See.
Yeah, we didn't talk about their prices. So the hardcover, limited to 50 copies. You can see that 10 people have already purchased or backed that tier at $40. So it'll be the same size as the Siamese hardcover, which I have right here. And what I did was on the spine file, I can show you if I can get it to focus here. You see my logo and the number 1.
All right. Yep.
So for Tōrō Tales, it'll be the logo and the number 2, so that when you do collect the hardcovers or the soft covers, the spine will show you the reading order of the books from the DojoKunComics universe.
Oh. Huh.
So then when I do the next one, which will be 4 issues of Deanna, Hammer of the Angels, that one will be the next hardcover, and it'll have a number 3 on it. And then when I return to Tōrō Tales, it may have a 4 or a 5, depending on when it falls in the chronology.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. That's cool. I never thought about doing it like that. Okay. Yeah, I dig the hardcovers. So, let's say in one campaign, you managed to get the. Did you start that numbering system from the get-go, even with Siamese?
Yep, Siamese is the first one, the first books that I wrote for DojoKunComics. So that one collects the first 4 issues I ever published, and that was the 4 issues of Siamese. So what this will do is it'll show you the reading order of the entire DojoKunComics universe.
So is the hardcover for one title going to match the order number on the hardcover going to match the order number on the equivalent soft cover?
Yes. Let me grab the soft cover from right here. A little harder to get to that. But that too had a 1 on it.
Cool.
So yeah, if you get all soft covers, they'll be number ordered just like that. And if in fact you want to back the hardcover and then the soft, you'll still have the reading order, because one will say 1 and then Tōrō Tales will say 2, etc.
Nice.
But of course, I recommend getting all hardcovers. That's why I made that one the featured tier.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was thinking of that off chance where, like, you get you manage on one campaign to get the hardcover, and then on another campaign maybe you took longer than you thought, and you came to the campaign late, and you ended up having to pick up the soft cover because the hardcover sold out.
Yep,
So
the numbering system will still work. You're right.
Yeah. Cool. Buy DNF Fancy Coffee. That's a cool idea. I like when campaigns have that tier. That's pretty cool.
She's definitely supportive and a big help. She and I dated in 10th grade.
10th grade?
Yeah, long ago. And she knew then I was a comic book collector. We lost touch for close to 26 years and then found one another. I was reconnecting with a whole bunch of my classmates on Facebook, not looking for a date or anything, just looking for the guys that I was in choir and track and swimming and and Theater Guild and all that with. I was just looking for all the folks. And of course, I came across Deanna, and she and I had both recently ended our second marriages. So we were commiserating about that, still really not looking to date anybody, but we talked for quite a while, and I was like, hey, it seems like we've got a lot in common. So we went out, and we've been engaged for 11 years now.
Whoa, really?
Yep.
Engaged for 11 years?
I call her my wife because for all intents and purposes, we live as husband and wife. But yeah, we're not actually looking to walk the aisle, but we wanted to call each other fiance because boyfriend and girlfriend didn't seem nearly as committed as we really were.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. Wow, that's cool, man. And in many states, if you've been living together at least 10 years, you're married by common law. Right.
I'm not sure that's true in our state, but okay, that's fine.
just without all the heartache and the paperwork of
right
and taxes and stuff.
Yeah. Although, you know what? In some instances, a married couple get a better tax break than two single people.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yep. So under that tier, we've got the physical tier. That's the digital tier for $15.
Yeah.
It's 88 pages, so there's a lot of content there.
Heck yeah.
The physical tier is $25, and again, 88 full-color pages. Maybe even a few more pages, because like I said, I might put that watercolored version of the penciled cover in there too. So there might be some extras, but it'll be at least 88.
Okay. Nice.
And then this cover you see here, the retailer tier, that's the original cover of Tōrō Tales when it was just a 22-page floppy. It only featured 4 stories. It featured Sparrow, H2O, Loan Shark, and Bot 42. So this trade paperback includes that, plus a whole bunch of more content.
Wait, so wait a minute. So this is a different book from the main one, or it's the same book just with a variant cover?
Well, that cover there is the original cover from the floppy that was that I published years ago under DojoKunComics. So the retailer tier that you will actually get will have the Eric Ninoltowski cover.
But the interior is still the same as what you're getting in the campaign?
That's correct. Yep.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I think it's although despite on campaigns the retailer tier not always being popular, I think it's still a good idea to offer it.
Yep, I had one on Siamese, and I think I don't think I sold any of the retailer tier, but I did have a few people tell me it was a good idea just in case there's somebody out there that would like to put this on the shelf. And I think that, quite honestly, with the Eric Ninoltowski cover, with the Eric Ninoltowski cover, it will stand up and it'll be just as eye-catching as anything from the mainstream for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty straightforward, pretty clean. Let's watch the trailer again, and then we'll wrap things up.
Okay, thank you.
The Tōrō Tales trade paperback brings together the inaugural chapters of some of DojoKunComics'
Got an echo going on.
Characters.
There you go.
Characters like Sakura, Bot 42, Sovereign, Loan Shark, Sparrow, Nightless, the Scarlet Archer, the Canadian Shield, and Haria and Ani, aka H2O. Featuring art by 5 different writers, 9 artists, 7 colorists, and 5 letterers, this graphic novel will be 88 pages of superhero excitement. We've been publishing comics for 6 years now and successfully crowdfunded and fulfilled Siamese. The first 100 backers receive a free BB Buddy of Canadian Shield. Back with confidence and back us. Only on Indiegogo.
Cool. It says voiceover by Leonore. Is that Lost Leonore?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
And look, I was just going to say, if you look at the examples that they gave you there of other campaigns to look at, my other one was one of the choices.
Oh.
I don't know if it'll work if you like skip all the way to the end, if it'll do that for you again.
I'm not sure.
Let's see.
Sometimes it works in.
Yep, right there. Shifter. That's my other one.
Nice.
That's kind of cool. More to come on that. Join Wyman and his show, WyzGyz Entertainment, on March 3rd. Well, we'll be talking about the Healing Wars, the Shifter.
Absolutely. Very cool. That's pretty fun. What a coincidence. So we're at $15.79 USD for 35 backers. That's 31% to the fixed goal. We got 6 hours left, and if I understand, this is 6 hours of the first 30 days of funding.
Right. So as soon as the show is done, and before I go to bed tonight, I'm going to extend this the additional 30 days. I hope to get on a lot of shows and really get eyes on this project. I think it stands up. I think that people will love it. So I've got the passion that I also had for Siamese. I think that this will be a successful campaign. I just need to get out there and push it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely should get funded. Let me see here. Okay, here. And I am going to give you the floor here. Would you share with the world how you can be found on social media?
Oh, sure. I can be found on Twitter and Instagram at DojoKunComics. My website is dojokuncomics.wixsite.com/DojoKunComics. And you can find me on YouTube every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern for the Dojo Kun Shill Shack. Usually I have other creators come on to talk about their projects and campaigns, but once in a while I also feature a video that's a little bit off the beaten path. Like, for example, last Sunday I did a expose presentation all about the Liberty Entertainment distribution debacle, where they were under the impression that they had a deal with Spencer's Gifts. So if you want to go find that on YouTube at youtube.com/c/DojoKunComics.
Okay. Now you can find me at my usual haunts. I'm on Twitter at WyzGyzTweets, at Twitch at WyzGyzEntertainment, all one word, and YouTube, WyzGyzEntertainment. Make sure if you're doing any searches that it's all one word, WyzGyz. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Everyone in the chat, you guys rock. And then everyone who watches this on replay, thank you as well.
Yes, hail everybody.
Yeah, definitely be sure to back this campaign. It is funding. If you've already backed it, thank you so much for your support.
Indeed.
But also consider backing again. Back it once, back it twice, back it 3 times a lady.
That's right.
And if at this time you aren't in the position to do so, please consider sharing this all over social media so we can get more eyeballs on it.
I would appreciate that greatly. Yes, thank you.
Please like, comment, subscribe, mark the bell for notifications, indicate all notifications so you don't miss a single stream or video. And last but not least, I wanted to thank Brian for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Wyman.
My pleasure, and you have a wonderful day, y'all. See you on the next stream. Take it easy now.
Awesome.
Bye.
Take care.
Final guest that is the only person below White Holiday in the Comicsgate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sameti. The YouTube translation. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.